Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you are doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. Okay, today on the Dungeon Dive, we are going to be taking a look at the brand new expansion, the Moon Towers, for the game Paupers Ladder. This is a game that I looked at just a few months ago, and I really like. Now, I have not played this expansion yet, but I have a feeling, just kind of looking at it and reading a little bit about it, I have a feeling that it is going to be one of the better expansions. It just seems to add so much to the game. So we're going to be taking a look at that, what is in the box, and then I think I'm going to set up the game in a part 2 of this video series. I'm going to set up the game and I'm going to play a few turns of the game so we can kind of go through this supplement here, which was kind of an additional expansion. And this is an illustrated field guide and achievements journal. So we're going to take a look at this after we take a look at the contents of the Moon Towers box set. So let's read a little bit about this. The Moon Towers. Nobody knew where they came from, and nobody knew why, but there they stood, like they had been under our feet all along. The most noble knights and squires in the land have decided, from behind the safety of firmly bolted doors, that they're far too busy and far too important to deal with this deadly new threat, which makes it the Paupers' responsibility. Sounds about right. Or, if you prefer, yours. The Moon Tower is a new adventure for Paupers Ladder with over 400 cards depicting towns, ruins, hazards, villagers, equipment, quests, and dangers. It also introduces solo rules, 14 new birds, 8 new paupers, talents to learn, curses to suffer, and of course, the malevolent Moon Towers. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up a little bit here. All right, so on the top here, we do have our rule book. Nice size little rule book, kind of a pamphlet size. Goes through, we have a little backstory there for all of our paupers. We have Sarah Bracker, Darius Burr, Grinnery Hops, Rummy Kether, Maud Nebety, Bobby Scrobbit, David St. Hub, and the Groatsworth. And here we have a little bit more of a backstory here. Brighthelm's senior chemist held a special meeting to discuss the situation of the Moon Towers. They discovered the appearance of the towers coincided with the neat alignment of 14 moons. As far as they could tell, this had never happened before. And although the towers were strong and apparently protected by the ghostly figures, they weren't indestructible. A concerted effort could reduce a tower to bone dust, and so remove its malign effect from the area. Okay, and then we get an overview of what we're going to get in the expansion. 14 new bird cards, 30 talent cards, 13 curse cards, 75 equipment, 240 new encounters, 4 pauper cards, 8 new recipe cards, 38 quest cards, 25 crescents, 5 moonweed, 4 virtue markers, and the golden charm. It's a golden charm is a luckier version of the lucky charm. All right. Got our steps for setting up the Moon Towers, what you need from the base game and what you need from this game. You are supposed to, in this game, keep things separate so you can play a Moon Towers game or a regular base game, or you could probably just mix everything together and have kind of a bigger, more epic version of the game, but it would probably at that time also be a little diluted. So I'm going to play with just the Moon Towers for a couple times. Some new elements, it goes over these talent cards and the curse cards. Talent cards give your pauper an ability. Each player's pauper starts the game with 1 talent. When a player learns a virtue, they may replace that talent with a new one. A pauper can only have 1 talent at a time. Talents are always used in the Moon Tower and can also be used in Pauper's Ladder and the One Lonely Pauper mode. So the One Lonely Pauper mode was another little solo supplement that was available for the original game there. Okay, and then we have these curse cards. So curses have a negative effect on your pauper and can be acquired in a number of ways. They can be removed when your pauper explores a city region. Curses do not affect birds. And then we have these crescent markers, and I have punched those out already. It's kind of a new little gem that you can collect, a little kind of currency that has all kinds of different effects on the other side that will help your pauper and your bird out. So crescents can be collected by your pauper and your bird in a variety of ways. There's no limit to how many crescents you can carry. They are only used in moon towers. But I think if you were to combine the two sets together, you could probably go ahead and use them as well. Set up the crescents. So you have a hunter crescent, flower crescent, buck crescent, harvest, snow, a worm crescent, a pink crescent, and a flower crescent. Hazards and crescents. So it looks like there are some different ways that you can use those crescents when you are having a random encounter. And then we have these moonweed tokens, and the moonweed tokens are over here. They look like that there. And the moonweed appears when a moon tower appears, affecting the game in a certain way. Moonweed is a particularly virulent creeper that acts as thick roots for moon towers. It can prevent your characters drawing cards from certain region decks. Moonweed is only used in the moon towers. So when using the moon towers, they sprout up. Then you have to put this moonweed token on top of a stack of region cards, and then you can't use those cards until you destroy that particular tower. And then we have all of our rules here for our different moon towers, how to fight them, how to get rid of them, and what they do in the game. We have some new elements, new birds, a new golden charm, new paupers, and some different rules on starting the game. And the objective of moon towers, like the original game, is to learn 3 of the 5 virtues, but some of them are a little bit different. So we have the virtue of generosity, of knowledge, of bravery, of magnificence, and of fellowship. Rules on playing a turn, and then we have some solo rules. So the solo rules have been expanded a little bit, and they seem more robust and a little more fun. So we will be playing with the solo rules for sure. And all right, so that was the rules there. Now, I'm not sure if these came just with the pre-order or if these are coming with everybody's order or not, but I got a cool little bookmark with some birds of a bright helm there and an original drawing. Look at that. There's some pin leakage on the back side there. Very cool. And then you also get some little stickers to put on your bird tokens. So now your bird tokens can have a little picture of a bird on there. So pretty cool. All right. And then here we have our new large player aid here. So we have a sheet that tells us all of our crescents, an example of fighting moon towers, and then the symbolic guide. This is on nice cardstock. In the original game, this was just kind of on a glossy paper. But here we have, just a lot of things that we will need to look up while we are playing the game. And then here we have our solo sheet. So it's interesting. So you have easy and medium difficulty, and then hard and very hard. And you have a timer here, and you have to solve your quest by the time you get to 0 time. But there are ways to earn more time. So when you defeat a hazard, learn a recipe, complete a quest, or learn a virtue, you get more time. So it's kind of like this tug of war back and forth between the time. I like that. When a timer allows you to do things fun in the game to get more time, then it doesn't bother me as much. But you have all of your different rules for your solo play there on that card. And then here we have our 8 new paupers. So there are 2 more paupers came outside of the game, and I'm not sure if those are included with everybody's order. I can't remember. Maybe I ordered them separately. I don't remember exactly everything I put in an order for. But it seemed to be 2 additional paupers that came with my order. But we have all of them here, and we have the signs for 2-player games and signs for 3 and 4-player games. And then those also dictate when you're playing solo mode. If you're playing the easy or the hard difficulty, you will use one of the other sides. But yeah, those are all the different paupers and all of their different startings. So each one has a special starting item. And then here you can keep track of your virtues, of your trophies, and you can keep track of your bird. So let's see, Mob Nebetes, he has the Dredger. Grinnery here has the Skinner. David St. Hub Has the wasn't David St. Hub? Isn't that from Spinal Tap? That name sounds so familiar, but you have some scrolls there. Bobby Scrobbit starts with his price guide. Begonia Pope starts with her sifter. And Sid Humperton starts with his arty hatchet. And then on the other side, we have Groatsworth starts with his old hairpin. Darius starts with his fishhook. Rummy starts with her cane. We have Sarah with her cookbook. And Begonia with her sifter. So those are the same. Okay, so yeah, these must be the two that came additionally because they don't have double-sided. Well, they don't have different poppers on each side. And then we get, here's our new Lucky Charm here. So it's a little bit of a better version of the original. And it's gold instead of white. I'm very lucky. A 2 and a 1. It is my lucky day. And then we get all of our cards. And we get a ton of new cards in this game. So this is always fun. The fun part of a new game here. Checking out all of the new stuff. Let's see here. Okay, so we've got all kinds of new equipment here. This is normal equipment, I believe, not epic equipment. Tarot decks, caged canary, homing rods, coils of rope, fighting tea, a fool's purse, a telescope, luck potion, a tuneful lute, a might potion. And then next up, we have our swamp encounters. So quite a few of those, a good stack there. Okay, so these black cards, those are going to be our moon towers. And each of the different regions of the game on the game map has its own towers. So we have Berry Tower, Beaver Tower, and Blue Tower. And then here we have all of our events and different things we can encounter, different kind of creatures, a worm, a mage, a scuttler. Ooh, that's cool. I think I'm going to do an Art of Paupers Ladder series as well. Moonstrike, Steel Town. All right, very cool. Lots of neat little encounters there. And then we have some mountain encounters, and it looks like we have more mountain encounters here. Okay, so in the mountain towers here, we have our Buck Tower and Cold Tower. And then a bunch of new encounters there. Campsites, a hidden stash, supply crate, the paladin, a snabbit, a hanging portal. Oh, that's super cool. I like that a lot. An old dwarf to fight. All kinds of stuff. Another moon tower there, the snow tower. Okay, very cool. I really do like these little square cards for this game. I know everything about this game is just absolutely charming. I love this game. I think with this expansion, I could probably, I'm going to play it a few times, but I could probably see this creeping up into my top 50. It's just such a charming game. I don't know. It fills me with just, I love looking at it. And yeah, it's just, it's so effortlessly fun and adorable in many ways. All kinds of good stuff to say about this game. And there's the 3 towers for the forest region. The rogue, the treasure chest, the hidden stash, a spectral owl, a wild fairy. Okay, and then we have our beach cards here. Offshore Haven, Elemental, Buried Treasure, the Flower Tower, the Troubadour, Sandworm Nest, a Sturgeon Tower, and a Worm Tower. All right, cool. Looks like there's all kinds of new things to discover. And then we have, finally, our final region here is the mines. We have the Corn Tower, Cursed chest, a dungeon shop. Oh, that's super cool. Love that picture there. And what are the other towers here? A mead tower and a mourn tower and a mystery door. For things to fight there. A bone bench. If your pauper is cursed, the bench will remove all of their curses. Very cool. Sitting on a bench. Enjoying the mines from the safety of a bone bench. And let's see here, we have all of our quests, so we can go and we can get quests in different cities there. Then we have some rare loot. Looks like more rare loot this time than in the original game. And more equipment, it looks like. Hero picks, compasses, recall potions, more telescopes, summoning spell, a sword, a correct violin, a warhammer, awesome, always like a warhammer, and a wooden shield, a spiked pad, a world map. And then some of our more rare items here. We have magical allium, a moon blade, a ranger's bow, a soul gun, spiked ball, winged shoes, a moon jewel, elemental axe, a bone blade, and a chemist's ring. And then here we have all of our quests. I think there might be some more quests. There's like 30 new quests, I think. Potion Peddler, Cataclysm, Magic Lights, a Ghost Hunter, the Snabbits, 5 Forts, Moon-Powered Straw Men, a Study in Luck, the Apprentice, the Collector, the Dog Mirror. All right. All kinds of things to quest for. Let's open up this last pack of the square cards here. Oh yes, a few more quests here. So we've got Hunting the Elementals, Shape Changer, the Ornithologist, the Press Gang, the Watching Orbs. Ooh, I like that a lot. Trade Routes, and the Cure. Okay, now we get into our talents, curses, and new birds. So let's take a look at our talents here. So these are going to be little bonuses that your paupers can get throughout the game. You're going to start with one, and then each time you learn a new virtue, you can swap it for another one. But these are going to give each of your paupers just a little bonus ability that they can have. They can become a cleric. They can become a dung carter. I'm a falconer, farmhand, a laborer, a messenger, a poacher, a robber, sneak, stone miner, a tracker, an athlete, all kinds of cool little powers to add to your pauper. But then to balance that out, of course, we also have our curses, which these are going to be bad and terrible, wretched things that can help further destroy a poor pauper's life. You can become talentless, repellent, dizzy, heavy-handed, infirm, trembles, butterfingers, poverty. How much more poor can a pauper get? Sounds like a wise question to ask there. And then all kinds of birds. So this was one thing in the base game that only comes with 4 different birds. And seeing as how birds were such an important part of like the theme and just the charm of this game, it is so nice to have so many more choices of which bird to take as your companion. Because as you are playing the game, you're going to play with 2 characters. You have your main pauper, and then you also have your bird character. And they are basically like your 2 of the same characters. So you can have each one going out and exploring the world at the same time. So it's really nice to have a better choice of the kind of birds that you're going to take with you, like a starling or a rock, excuse me, or a parrot, or a merlin, or a caracara, a cockatoo. And then each one of those starts the game untrained, but then you can pay 4 gems to train it, and then you're going to get a special bonus. For instance, your starling. Instead of moving and exploring, the starling can draw and place 1 region card in up to 3 regions connected to the one it occupies. That's cool. It's kind of like scouting. Or a trained phoenix. When you're fighting, undead and magical creatures. When the phoenix fights undead, oh, it's right there. Read, Daniel. Add 2 to its strength. Okay, so he's better at fighting undead and magical creatures. The trained cockatoo here. The cockatoo can always carry 1 equipment, not a weapon. They can use it in the same way your pauper would. You can give the cockatoo equipment from your inventory. So very cool. I love having these. I love having these talents and these curses. It's just interesting ways to make each game that you play feel a little different. And then finally, here in the box, we have a few more recipes that we can learn. Now, I know reading through the rule book that when you play your base game, you're going to start with your recipe deck, and you're going to remove a few of these and add in these new ones. So we have Unpick, Collector, Tempest, Elemental Fire, and Elemental Fire. And when you find these items out in adventures, when you find these, you have completed your recipe and you can turn it over and you get the bonus from the other side. So it's just another way to kind of augment your character and make your pauper a little more powerful. But one of the coolest things I think is this illustrated field guide and achievements journal. Color your way to greatness. The world of Brighthelm has never needed your attention like it does now. The bone-white moon towers have covered the land in a dismal monochrome, and only you and your best set of pencils can save it. Alternatively, you can treat this book as an illustrated field guide with its 200 illustrations showing you the sights, sounds, and dangers you can expect to find on your travels. Or if you fancy a colossal tick list, you can have a stab at completing some of the 500 tasks within. However you approach this almanac, I hope you have fun with it, and thank you as always for your lovely support. I would love to see this in more kinds of games, especially these kinds of more simple adventure games like Talisman or Runebound and games like that. Or even it's kind of like in the Explore It games, it has that storybook that you just kind of flip through when you discover something to see if there's a story about it. And that's kind of the same way here. So when you encounter a certain card, you will find that card, you will see if that card exists in this book, and then you can put a little check mark by it. So, for instance, if you are playing, like you're playing one of these Paupers, and if you were playing Granary Hops in the woodlands around Greyhaven's better heeled quarter, the name of Granary Hops is whispered in the breeze. Poacher turned gamekeeper turned poacher again. She lives off the meat she catches, sharing her spoils with the rest of the city's poor. She keeps meaning to do something with the skins, too. They're starting to smell. So, if you make 3 gems from your skinner into your purse in one turn, you can check that off. Or if you win the game as Granary Hops, you can check that off. And so you can just go through this whole book and keep track of all of the different things you've discovered, all of the different encounters you've had, maybe some encounters with the elementals or the merman. You can fight the moon guards, maybe encounter a pirate or a sea seer, the scuttler. We saw that creature there. If you tried to visualize a grinning horned skull on a set of 6 skeletal legs, you probably end up grinning too. Try grinning as a horde of them chases you down a dark mine shaft while you vainly try to remember where you kept your fighting tea. And if you defeat a scuttler when you draw an outcome card with an ally on it, you get to check that achievement. Just so cool, so absolutely charming. I think, as I find them, maybe I will color these in with color pencils. Yeah, I absolutely love this. This is one of the most creative little expansion pieces I have ever seen to a game. And it just really does kind of symbolize just the whole feel of Pauper's Ladder, of this game that is charming, of a world that just encourages me to want to spend time in it and to explore it and to have fun with the game, even though the game is very simple. And I can see the game being maybe too simple for a lot of modern gamers. But for us old folks, or for us people who like just a more simple kind of laid back and chill, slow questing game, Pauper's Ladder is quite magnificent, and I'm really, really looking forward to diving into this expansion and this illustrated field guide. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the Moon Towers expansion. for Paupers Ladder from Paul Stapleton and Bed Sit Games. We will talk to you later. Bye bye.